Hello, dear students. If you think that you have been drained out after the rigorous schedule of studying for your CMAT exam, then this video is for you. Welcome to Super Grad Scat from Top Rankers. This is Rita Gurbani, your VARC expert. And today in this video, I shall breezily take you across the various topics which form a part and parcel of this exam which you have prepared. So, my dear students, have faith in your abilities and let us have a quick recap of all that we have done so far. So, coming to the first question type, you generally get a question which is called tick mark the most appropriate word to fill in the blanks. So you have different blanks, different words which cater to these blanks in the sentences, and you have many options also. Just to simplify the things and to present a focus on the content, I have done away with the numbering. So let us solve these together. Work hard, dash you should fail. Options are otherwise, lest, else, or. The correct answer is work hard, lest you should fail. The correct answer is lest. Work hard, lest you should fail. Wherever you find the modal should, always look for the word lest. Lest means so that not. Next question. Next sentence. It can easily be said that she takes dash her mother. The options are to, down, after, in. This sentence talks about the resemblance of a child or of a person. The resemblance is with the parents. So this is a phrasal verb which takes after. The correct answer is after. It can easily be said that she takes after her mother, means she resembles her mother. She looks like her mother. Third sentence. When he parted dash his parents, his eyes were full of tears. Options are from, away, off, with. When he parted from his parents, his eyes were full of tears. When we part with our near and dear ones, I mean to say, when we talk about a human being, then we use from. But if suppose we want to say that she parted with her belongings or with money or with valuables, at that time we use the preposition with. So, with is used with non living objects. For example, valuables or money or jewelry or any such important thing. Pay attention to the difference, I repeat. And as and when we talk about the human beings, we use the word from. When we talk about the non living objects, we use the word with. Next sentence, fourth sentence. The bridge gave way, dash, due to the heavy rains, and one part of the city was cut off from the other. The bridge gave way. Now, gave way is a phrasal verb which means to collapse. This should come in the blank itself. The bridge gave way. It should have been written like this. The bridge gave way means the bridge collapsed due to the heavy rains and one part of the city was cut off from the other. Next, you will be cured dash this disease at the earliest. The options are for, of, from. The correct answer is of. You will be cured of. The preposition of is used when you talk about the cure from any disease. So you will be cured of this disease. Next, how did you come dash this wonderful article about, by, over, across? The answer is by. How did you come by? Means to find. Come by means to find. Next, we jump dash the holy river to have a dip. The options are in, to, into, over. Answer is into. We jumped into the holy river to have a dip. We are here showing the change of the plane. From one medium to the other, there is a shift. So we use the preposition into. For example, she entered into the room. He walked into the hall when we are showing the movement. Coming to some more questions. No sooner did I reach the station, dash the train started. The options are then, only, when, that. The correct answer is then. No sooner did I reach the station than the train started. Next, my brother said that he preferred the white shirt dash the black one. The options are to, then, from, with. The correct answer is to. My brother said that he preferred the white shirt to the black one. Next, he has dashed awake in bed for hours. Laid, lain, lay, lying. He has, this is the past participle form of the verb lie. Lie, to lie down, to take rest. So the second form, I mean to say the third form, the past participle form will be lain. He has lain awake in bed for hours. Here you must note that this verb lie has two meanings. One is the opposite of truth, falsehood, jhoot bolna, and the other is to be at a restful position. Next, 11th. The prisoner was dash, hung, hang, hanged, hanging. The correct answer is the prisoner was hanged. Hanged means was put to death. Now, here the verb is hang, but it has different use when you talk about any object, for example, any wall hanging or any picture or any wall clock. At that time, you say it was hung. It was hung. But when you talk about the capital punishment, this is also called capital punishment, you use the word hanged. He has dashed all that he had. He has dashed all that he had. Lose, lose, lost, lost. He has lost all that he had. Now look at this word lose and LOOSE lose. LOSE lose means not to find. गुम हो जाना. And this is the third form. This is the second form, V2 form, lost of lose. And LOO lose, SE lose is related to the fitting. Your jacket is quite loose. Loose is related to the fitting of the clothes, etc. Next question. I do not dash the views with the views expressed in your newspaper. I do not. So something should be related to agreement. The options are concur, coincide, confirm, subscribe. The answer is concur. I do not concur. Means I do not agree with the views which are expressed in the newspaper. The laborers were dashed in arms against the management. The laborers were off, up, in, on. The laborers were up in arms. Now, up in arms is an idiomatic expression which means against. Next, I dash a terrible dream last night. Have, saw, got, had. Here the answer is had. I had a terrible dream last night. Next, her dash are coming to Delhi. Pay attention to this are coming. This has to be a plural. The options are sisters in law, sister in laws, sister in law, and sisters in laws. The correct answer is sisters in law. The plural will be shown by this S, sisters in law. Now, coming to the next variety of questions, dear students, we have to find out that in one of the portions of the sentence there is an error. Now, what can be that error? It can be a grammatical error, it can be a vocabulary error. Let us see what errors. Are we able to find any errors? Let us check. I asked him that why he was beating about the bush. And if there is no error, then you have to mark no error. In the exam, you may find the options numbered or given some numbering A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last may be D or E given as per the sentence. So here, what we have to do, we have to find out where is the error. I asked him that. This is the error. That should not come. It should simply be, I asked why he was beating about the bush. Now, beating about the bush is again one another idiomatic phrase, which means to talk indirectly, not to take up the point directly, but to just go round and round. Next, money has become modern god, which every man is hankering. Money has become modern god, which every man is hankering. This is the error because this should take the preposition after or for. Hanker is to long for something, to desire something, to have an urge for something, but it should be followed by the preposition either after or for. Next, the patient died before the doctor arrived. The patient had died. The use of past perfect tense is revealed here. This is a classic example of the use of past perfect tense. The patient had died before the doctor arrived. Two actions taking place in the past tense. The one event which happened earlier will take the perfect form, and the one which came afterwards will take simple past. Next question. No country of the world is as beautiful as India. No country of the world. Here is the error. It should have been no other. This should have come in this manner. No other country of the world is as beautiful as India. Next, I have come to the final conclusion that students should not take part in politics. So, the first portion of the sentence, I have come to the final conclusion. Conclusion in itself shows finality. So, this using final before conclusion is nothing but redundancy or superfluous use. Superfluous use has to be avoided in good standard English. So, this option, this answer, this final should not have come here. The error is in the first portion of the sentence. Next, I will stand by you in thick and thin. I will stand by you in thick and thin. Thick and thin means in every circumstance, whatever, whether it is positive or negative. So it shows the support, the solidarity the person is showing. But here, this is wrong. This portion, this preposition is wrong. It should have been through because the idiomatic phrase thick and thin starts with the word through. To stand by somebody through thick and thin. Next, had you worked hard, you would have certainly succeeded in the examination. Had you worked hard, now this is a conditional. This is a conditional showing a condition which was not met with, and hence the result was something different. So, where is the error here? Had you worked hard, you would have certainly succeeded. It should have come like this. Had you worked hard, you would have certainly succeeded. So this is the mistake here. Next sentence. He talks as if he was my boss. He talks as if he was my boss. The error is here. This should have been were. He talks as if he were my boss. This is also the conditional sentence. Next exercise. Now, dear students, there was a request from the student community to give them more foreign words and phrases. And please go and check my previous video. Therein also I have given you a list of foreign words and phrases. Nowadays you find that these words are occurring in CMAT exams. So it would do you good to go through these foreign words and phrases. Now let us examine all of these. In the exam, you may get it in the form of a fill in the blank or maybe to choose the correct option. But here I have plainly given you the words and their meanings. The first one is El Dorado. El Dorado is an imaginary city full of gold. El Dorado, an imaginary city full of gold or full of opportunities or full of wealth. Next, savoir faire. Savoir faire means refined manners. It talks about the refined manners, the cultured manners of anybody. That is savoir faire. Next is status quo. Status quo is the existing state of affairs. Status quo is the existing state of affairs. Then nom de plume. Nom de plume. Look at this word. How do you remember? Nom means name. The meaning is an assumed name or title. That may not be the correct name, but it has been assumed. Nom de plume is the assumed name or title. Next is melee. Melee is confusion. Melee word means confusion. Dear students, these words have directly been taken from different languages of the world: Greek, Spanish, Latin, French, Sanskrit, Italian. And so, what happens? Since they have not been changed into English, they have not been modified, they retain the same form, we must know their actual meanings in English. Next is Vincit omnia veritas, means truth conquers all. In our own constitution, you know this Satyamev Jayate. This is the same meaning. Vincit omnia veritas. Omnia means all. Veritas is truth. Vincit omnia veritas. The meaning is truth conquers all. Next is bon vivant, a person who leads a luxurious life. This man eats well, drinks well, dresses well, travels a lot. So, in short, he is leading a luxurious life. Bon vivant. Then, bijo. Bijo is something that is small and pretty. Bijo is something that is small and pretty. Ad libitum means at pleasure. At pleasure. Esprit de corps. Esprit de corps means similar feelings which are shared by a group of people. Esprit de corps. Next, au revoir. Au revoir is goodbye. When you bid anybody goodbye. Exeunt is to leave the stage together. Exeunt, all the participants, all the people who were on the stage, the players have left the stage together. You can just correlate it with exit. So this will help you remember. Then Rondaille is a short poem. Rondaille is a short poem. Next comes Raconteur. Raconteur is a storyteller. The person who tells the story is called raconteur. Then alma mater is the school or the college or the university from which anybody studies and attends. Okay, that is your alma mater. Your school is your alma mater. Then comes ergo. Ergo means therefore. So pay attention to these foreign words and phrases. And if you need some more, if you need some more clarity, do mention in the comment box. We'll surely come up to take up all those topics which our students really need. Now, coming to the next question, I would like to inform my dear students, my dear learners, that in my previous videos, I have covered RC passages, your reading comprehension passages. So please go to those videos, check them out, and do a lot of practice. Now, this is a time for all of you to stay calm since very few days are left for the examination. Still, I would like to give you one or two tips how to solve the RCs. First of all, take a deep breath, read the whole passage, Okay, and then also go through the questions. I'm only talking about the stem of the question, not the complete option. Don't go through all the options, just look at the stem. Have a look at all the four, five, six questions which appear underneath the passage. Then reread the passage. There's no harm in viewing the passage or visiting those specific areas, from where the question has been asked. This way, you will be focused, you will know where you have to pay the utmost attention, and you will be able to select the correct option, right? Try using the elimination technique. This elimination technique comes in very handy when you find that you are not able to reach a particular option directly. In the case of a direct answer, there is no need for elimination. But if you feel that you are not able to reach the answer directly, try eliminating the options which are wrong or which are out of context or which have not been given in the passage. There is no mention of the passage of those options. So finally, you will arrive at that option which is correct. Another important thing is do not use your own knowledge or information or experience in solving those passages. Remember, you have to understand what the author is telling you. Remember, the point of view of the author is the most important. So do not allow your own knowledge to entangle with that, right? There shouldn't be any clash. You have to just read, understand, and find out the correct option answer. That's it, right? So coming to the next question, we have these fill in the blanks. Again, you have to fill in the correct alternatives. Now, this is related to vocabulary. The previous one was related more to grammatical concepts. This is related to vocabulary. Take up the first question. The police had to use tear gas in order to disperse the crowd, in order to disperse the crowd. Now, disperse is a word which relates to money, the money which is being given, maybe as a salary. Okay, and here the word which is the correct answer is disperse. Disperse means to go in different directions. To go in different or separate directions. That is to disperse. Next, the son asked for his parents' dash for the marriage. For the marriage, the son is asking for his parents' obvious permission. But which is the word? Is it assent or assent? The first word, assent, means rise. You might have heard ascending order, descending order. And the second word, assent, means consent or to agree. So our answer is assent. Next, all his remarks were meant to dash the reputation and honor enjoyed by the minister. Either it is arrogate or it is derogate. The answer is derogate. You might have heard the word derogatory. Derogate is to belittle somebody, to lay blame on somebody, to have caustic remarks against somebody. So look at the sentence once again. All his remarks were meant to derogate the reputation and honor enjoyed by the minister. Next, dash to the medical course is becoming increasingly difficult. The two options are admittance and admission. Now, the meaning of admittance. Admittance means to take entry in a particular institution or a home or any other office, just to take an entry. And admission is to be enrolled in a particular course which is being offered by the university or by the institute where you have to study. Correct. So, very clearly, the answer is admission. Admission to the medical course is becoming increasingly difficult. Next, the Rashtrapati Bhavan gives an dash look. Imperial, imperious. Look at the two options, they look similar, but they are different. The Rashtrapati Bhavan gives an imperial look. Why imperial? Imperial has come from the word empire. Empire. And imperial also means royal. So it has a positive connotation. Whereas imperious means domineering in a negative sense. So, out of these two options, the better option, the best option is imperial look. The Rashtrapati Bhavan gives an imperial. Here it means majestic, grand, stately, right? Next, his dash nature is a secret of his success. What kind of nature does he have? Social or sociable? The answer is sociable. Sociable means he mixes freely with the people, he interacts with the people, he finds himself comfortable talking and interacting with people. So the answer is sociable. Next, the cyclone dashed without causing any great catastrophe. Catastrophe is a calamity wherein people lose their lives. So we are talking about the cyclone. What happened? It did not cause any great catastrophe. Then it what happened to the cyclone? This is the question. Is it abated or is it abated? These two words look similar. The answer is abated. Abated is to reduce, and abet, abet, abet is to incite, to incite. Or to instigate, bhadkana, that is. So the correct answer is abated. Next, a large population of Latin American countries were not aborigines but immigrants, emigrants. The answer is immigrants. Now here the students have a lot of confusion. The second word, emigrant, is to go to some other country, and immigrant is to be in your own country. Immigrant. Next, you should try to get a dash rank in the annual examination. Credible, creditable. The answer is creditable. You should try to get a creditable means honorable rank in the annual examination. A good rank, respectable rank. Coming to another kind of questions, parajumbles. Now, what we have in parajumbles, there are a few sentences which have been scattered here and there. They have been thrown apart. And what we need to do, we need to arrange them in a logical, sequential manner. That is our question. So, for this, what we need to do, first we need to read all the given sentences, maybe 4 or 5 sentences, and then we have to find out how they stick together in a coherent manner. Coherent manner. This is very important. It should be logical. There has to be a sentence which opens, opening sentence or a phrase. Now, for your CMAT exams, dear students, you do not have a complete paragraph, rather, you have just a complete sentence. There are different phrases and clauses in that sentence. Actually, you have to arrange the sentence in a proper order. So, let's try this first one. First one, I'm just reading it aloud for you. I am stepping aside so that you can have a proper view of the words. Environmental and psychological stress and strain. He said that the development of positive attitudes to cope with what the world needed today was. Now, if you examine all these, you find that the sentence begins with this second part. He said that what the world needed today was the development of positive attitudes to cope with environmental and psychological stress and strain. He said that what the world needed today was the development of positive attitudes to cope with environmental and psychological stress and strain. This way, the sentence gets completed. Coming to the next sentence, when a chemical substance, the food poisoning occurred in the food preparations, was mistaken for salt and used. So here you find something about the food poisoning, about the food preparations. So let us pay attention to the subject. For cracking such questions, we should find out what is the subject. How should the sentence start? The sentence is divided between subject and predicate. Subject is the doer of the action, and predicate is what happens. Either the subject does something or some more detail is given which also carries the object within. So let us find out where is the subject. Here, this is the subject. The food poisoning occurred when a chemical substance was mistaken for salt and used in the food preparations. The sentence gets completed. Let us see once again. The food poisoning occurred when a chemical substance was mistaken for salt and used in the food preparations. The sentence gets logically completed. Next, to dispose of the waste matter, the modernization would reduce, provide better sanitary facilities, manual labor considerably, and would also. So very clearly you can see that this manual labor considerably and would also has to be joined, has to be added with some other phrase to give it completion. So how does the sentence start? Does it start with to dispose of the waste matter? Let us start with this one. The modernization would reduce manual labor considerably and would also provide better sanitary facilities to dispose of the waste matter. The modernization would reduce manual labor considerably and also provide better sanitary facilities to dispose of the waste matter. So in this way, the sentence gets completed. The subject of the sentence is modernization. Next, with great devotion, but they mostly fail to appreciate, people read and recite the Ramayana, which refers to those high ideals of human conduct which this great epic places before us, that aspect of its greatness. So clearly, the sentence is about the importance of Ramayana. Now, let us examine once again how it should be placed so that the actual and the logical meaning comes to the surface. Let us examine the first one with great devotion, but they mostly fail to appreciate. Now, who is this they? They is not clear, so the sentence cannot start with this part. Next, people read and recite the Ramayana. Here you find that you have a subject. People read and recite Ramayana. Now, in the next, we find here something is related which refers to those high ideals of human conduct which this great epic. So, there is a connection between great epic and Ramayana. Now, let us see how we connect these. People read and recite the Ramayana with great devotion, but they mostly fail to appreciate that aspect of its greatness which refers to those high ideals. See how the connection has been made. So I will give you the pointers and you join and check for yourself. People read and recite the Ramayana with great devotion, but they mostly fail to appreciate that aspect of its greatness which refers to those high ideals of human conduct which this great epic places before us. Next, for the common good of mankind, if all the nations work together and agree to obey these laws, then they will never fight with each other and there will be no war. So, definitely something has been told about the nations, what they should be doing so that there is no war and something related to the common good of mankind. Let us examine every portion. Look at the first one. For the common good of mankind. Okay, so some reasoning is being developed. Next, if all the nations work together. Now, this is a condition starting with if. Next, and agree to obey these laws. These laws. Which laws we are talking about? Let us see. Then they will never fight with each other and there will be no war. So let us see, can we start this with part 2, portion 2? If all the nations work together for the common good of mankind and agree to obey these laws, then they will never fight with each other and there will be no war. So probably these laws has been already stated in a paragraph or in a sentence which went before this. But since we have these four options, these four portions only, we have to join them together in a logical manner. So let's start this once again. If all the nations work together for the common good of mankind and agree to obey these laws, then they will never fight with each other and there will be no war. Next, which is essential for its complete understanding, the 5-page introduction to the script places it in the right perspective and gives the uninitiated reader a background to the film. So something is being spoken about a film, about the reader, and about the book. Something is related which concerns all these three people. How? Background to the film and gives the uninitiated reader. Uninitiated means the one who is not aware. The 5-page introduction to the script places it in the right perspective, which is essential for its complete understanding. Its complete understanding of what? Let us once again examine. Let us start. Can we start with the second portion? The 5-page introduction to the script places it in the right perspective and gives the uninitiated reader a background to the film which is essential for its complete understanding. So, the first is this one. I repeat, the 5-page introduction to the script places it in the right perspective and gives the uninitiated reader a background to the film, which is essential for its complete understanding. So, in this way, you have to first see what is given before attempting, try to read the question without any panic. I would repeat myself, dear students, in informing you, in suggesting you that take a deep breath whenever you sit for the exam and with a calm and composed mind, read the question which comes in front of you. That would be the best method to start with the exam, and this is one of the most important strategies to be followed for your exam. Next is one word substitution. Here what happens, you are given a group of words and in order to substitute, you have just one word. Let us check out on all these questions. First is incapable of error. Something or somebody which is incapable of error. The options are sure, certain, infallible, definite. Now you can see sure, certain, definite. They have a similar meaning, but the word infallible has the correct meaning which can be replaced, with which this phrase can be replaced incapable of substitution. Next, not moved by entreaty. Not moved means not affected by entreaty. What is entreaty? Entreaty is to request somebody, to make a request, to make an appeal. So the one who is not moved, who is not touched by anybody's request, that we have to find out. Now let us see the options. Cruel, inexorable, harsh, unkind. The answer is inexorable because this person will not be changing his or her opinion due to somebody's request, right? So the correct option is neither cruel nor harsh nor unkind but inexorable. Next, to think up on the spur of the moment. To think up means to decide something on the spur of the moment is also idiomatic expression which means at the very moment, which has not been decided beforehand, right? On the spur of the movement. So, improvise, reflect, brainwave, artful. The answer is improvise. To think up at the same time without any prior preparation or readiness, but at the particular time, at the same time, somebody thinks of something important that is called improvise. Next, one who is fond of inflicting pain. Inflict pain means to give somebody pain, to torture somebody. Painful, sadist, mischievous, harmful. The correct answer is sadist. Sadist is the person who finds happiness in inflicting pain on others. Next, a person pursuing something for pleasure. A person pursues something only for pleasure, not for monetary benefit. Means he is not earning something from that activity. He is just happy, satisfied taking up that activity. So, what is it? Is it a vowel? Is it indict? Is it follower? Or is it amateur? The answer is amateur. Amateur means the one who is pursuing anything because he is interested in it, not because he is trying to earn money out of that. Next, the one who is good at telling anecdotes. Anecdotes means stories. This particular word had come just now in the previous slides, if you remember. Come on, put it in the comment box if you remember this word has come, right? What is this? Is it smart? Or is it raconteur? Or is it jocular? Or is it hilarious? The correct answer is raconteur. The one who is good at telling stories is called a raconteur. One leading an unsettled life. What is that person called who does not have a settled life? Is it a wanderer? Is it restless? Is it a vagabond? Or is it hurtling? The answer is vagabond. Vagabond is a person who does not lead a settled life. He moves from place to place. Next, dead without having made a valid will. A person has not made his will, but before that he dies. Will here means a document which shows his ideas, his request, his motive for his own property wealth. In Hindi, it is called wasiyat. So, such a person, is he called willless, or is he called insolvent, or is he called intestate, or is it insupportable? The answer is intestate. Intestate is the person who dies without having made his will. Next, predicament from which there is no obvious escape. What is a predicament? Predicament is a situation which gives rise to sorrow and unhappiness. A plight is a predicament. So, predicament from which there is no obvious escape, is it held up? Is it impasse? Is it captive? Is it confined? The answer is impasse. Next, a general pardon of political offenders. Pardon is to grant pardon to somebody. In Hindi, it is called maafinama. Is it hospitable? Is it generous? Is it clemency? Is it amnesty? The answer is amnesty. Amnesty is the word for a general pardon of political offenders. Offenders means criminals. Next, incapable of being overcome. Incapable of being overcome. Insurmountable, invincible, infallible, invulnerable. The answer is invincible. Invincible is the person who cannot be overcome. Next, grow weak and thin, especially for love. Somebody who is growing weak and thin day by day for maybe love. So that person is it expiate? Is it languish? Is it brag? Is it tremble? The answer is languish. The person languishes, the person who is in love, he or she languishes, means he or she is growing thin and weak gradually. Next, long intensely for something that belongs to another. Here, long means to have a keen desire. Desire, hanker, covet, crave. The answer is covet. Something which belongs to somebody else, and this person longs for that thing intensely. So, this is called covet. Now, in this slide, in this question, we'll be dealing with some grammatical error questions. Now, here what happens, there are four sentences given, and out of these, there is just one sentence which is grammatically correct. The rest of the sentences are wrong. Let us examine them. I step aside so that you have a full view of the content. First, no mention is made of companies that are partly government and partly privately owned. Next. Second, no mention are made of companies that is partly government owned and partly privately owned. Third, no mention is made of companies that are partly government owned and partly privately owned. Four, no mention are made of companies that are either partly government owned or partly privately owned. So you can clearly see that in sentence 2 and in sentence 4, you find the use of the auxiliary verb are, which does not go with mention, because mention is a singular subject. So we have outrightly eliminated options 2 and 4. Let us examine now the first and the third option again. No mention is made of companies that are partly government and partly privately owned. Here you find that there is a small flaw which has been removed in the sentence number 3. How? Look at sentence number 3. No mention is made of companies that are partly government owned and partly privately owned. The sentence is grammatically correct. Next sentence. The teacher forbade the students not to play in the ground. The teacher forbade the students not to play on the ground. The teacher forbade the students to not play in the ground. The teacher forbade the students to play in the ground. Now, the meaning of forbade, this has come from the word forbid. Forbid is not to allow. Not to allow. Forbid. So, from here, the word has come forbade. If you look at sentence 1 and 2, you find that the difference between the two is of the preposition in and on. I will read it for you. The teacher forbade the students not to play in the ground. The teacher forbade the students not to play on the ground. In the third sentence, the teacher forbade the students to not play in the ground. This is grammatically incorrect. And last sentence, the teacher forbade the students to play in the ground is the correct sentence. Why? Because forbade already carries no in it. Forbade, the meaning of forbade is not to allow. So here clearly the use of double negatives is seen. That is why the correct answer is the teacher forbade the students to play in the ground. Next, I was surprised when he told me how much does he smoke daily. I was surprised that when he told me how much he smokes daily. I was surprised when he told me how much he smokes daily. I was surprised when he tells me how much he smokes daily. Now, if you have read these sentences correctly, you can very clearly understand the last sentence is totally out of question. I was surprised when he tells me. It does not go. The reporting verb, see, I was surprised. This is in the past tense. So here you cannot use present tense. So this sentence is totally wrong. Look at the first sentence. I was surprised when he told me how much does he smoke. Now This is a statement. It cannot take the form of an interrogative sentence. Interrogative means question. Look at the second one. I was surprised that when he told me how much he smokes daily. Now, the use of that is wrong here. Look at the third sentence. I was surprised when he told me how much he smokes daily. This is the correct answer. Next, most of those who applied for summer jobs were considered qualified for the available positions. Most of them who applied for summer jobs are considered qualified for the available positions. Most of those who applies for summer jobs are considered qualified for the available positions. Most of those who applied for summer jobs are considered qualified from the available positions. Now, examining the sentences carefully, I'll start with sentence 4 first. Most of those who applied for summer jobs are considered qualified from. This is a wrong preposition. The correct preposition should be for. Now let us see in which all sentences for has been used. So you can see in all these above mentioned 1, 2, and 3, the preposition which has been mentioned is for, right? For the available positions, for the available positions. Now, look at the third sentence. Most of those who applies, this is present tense, for summer jobs are considered qualified for the available positions. Now here this is wrong because the subject is plural. It should have been apply. If the subject is singular, then I or es is used. S or es is used if the subject is singular, but if the subject is plural, we do not use s or es. So this makes the third sentence wrong. Second sentence, most of them who applied for summer jobs are considered. Now see, most of them, one thing, pronoun, and are considered qualified for the available positions. Now, who applied and jobs are, there is a mismatch. The tense has to be same. So we are left with option 1. Let us read it once again and see whether it is correct or not. Most of those who applied for summer jobs were considered qualified for the available positions. This is the correct answer because this is correct in all respects. Everywhere you find that the grammatical conditions have been fulfilled. So this is the correct answer. So dear students, as I already said, just talk to us. Given your requests, we are there with you till the last moment. And if you find that there are some more topics which are really giving you sleepless nights, do write to us. Leave your comments in the comment box. We'll be more than happy to get back to you. Keep studying and work hard. By working hard, I don't mean to say that you don't have, proper peace of mind or proper rest. Take proper rest, keep yourself hydrated, but at the same time, be stress free. That is what is most important now, especially in this sultry weather. You should keep yourself calm and cool. As I already said, take up the exam, everything will go off well. Have faith in your abilities. You have prepared yourself well. God bless you all. May you succeed. All the best.